Hello, this is Caitlin with the Aurora Cultural Center, programmer for the 3rd edition of Centerpieces, Totally Creative Activities for Home. And our activity today is a paper craft making a delicious looking harvest corn. So you need your yellow construction paper and green origami paper, as well as a pencil, your glue stick, and a pair of scissors. We're going to start with our origami paper. So I'm going to put all of the other supplies to the side, because all we need first is our paper. And we're going to use this paper to make the husk, the leaves on the outside of the corn. So we'll start by turning it this way and making a fold between 2 corners. Fold this over. We'll make sure the corners are touching the end. We'll hold that in place and then press down by pushing back, pulling back. Get a nice firm crease, and once that's nice and firm, we're going to open our paper up again. What we needed from that step was just to create this line here so we can see where the middle is. Our next step is taking our outside corner and folding it in so that the corner and this whole side of our square is touching our line in the middle. So it folds in, you can see it's touching right here, and it's lining up nice and straight along there. We'll push up. Folded, and with the same other corner, the same as well. Fold it into the middle so they're all lined up, and we'll push up. And it's okay. See, I ended up with a little bit of a space at the top, but that's all right. For our next step, we'll turn it over, and we're doing the same thing with these corners here now at the top of what is now our diamond shape. We'll take this corner and we're looking for this whole side to touch our line in the middle. So we'll fold it over, hold it in the right spot, get any little kinks out so it folds okay. There, it's being a little tricky for me. And press down. Nice and firm, and the same with the other corner. Folding over into the middle so they're touching. Press down. And now we have an even diamond shape. And we'll fold the bottom part up to touch the top to make it a triangle. Now with our triangle shape, we're going to fold it in half down the middle to make a smaller triangle. And we'll press that down. And see, now we have 2 triangles kind of nested inside of each other. We're going to pull our inside one out so they're making a V shape, so there's more space in between. Now if you pinch to hold those in place, and then we'll push down on the bottom to create a new crease so it has a new bottom. And now we have the leaves that will go on the outside of our corn. It'll fit right in this little pocket space right here. So now we can get our yellow construction paper. And we're going to start by folding it in half, just because that will create a helpful line to tell us which side is going to be used for what step of our project. I'm going to get now as well our pencil, to do some drawing, because our next step is to make the shape of our corn. So using your corn husk on your paper, just so you can see how big you should make it so it'll fit inside. So I'm going to start a bit close to the bottom so it can be nice and tall. And before taking away our corn husk, we're going to just do a little bit of tracing down at the bottom so we know where the bottom is. And some tracing at the side so we know where the side is. And that will help us, because when we take it away, we need to finish drawing this shape. And now that we know this is where the sides are, we know we should be drawing our shape so that it doesn't touch these lines. So now we have this shape, the basic shape of our corn, and we can take our leaves and put them somewhere else safe. And the same with our pencil, we can put them aside so that we have more space to work on our corn. Next, with your scissors, we're going to cut out your corn shape. So cut around your pencil lines. Now we have the base for our corn. Here's our piece of corn, but it's missing some details, and that's what we'll add next. So quickly, before we go to the next step, I'm going to grab my pencil again. Use the eraser. You can see there's still a little bit of pencil showing around some of the edges when we cut it out. I'm just going to go to any of the spots with pencil, and we're going to erase it. We can put our corn to the side. Focus on this paper. We're going to cut this part aside to use for later. This we're going to use to add some details. And while we've got our scissors out, you can fold your corn in half so that two longer parts are touching. And that doesn't have to be super firm because we're going to unfold it after. But while it's all folded up like this, we're going to cut some slits in it that are about 1 centimeter wide. Cut down. It should be close to the bottom, but not all the way down. And they should end at about the same spot. Now we have the slits in our corn, and now we can unfold it. And I'm gonna give it a little push, a little wiggle to get it to be a bit more flat again. And setting it aside, we're going to cut up the strips of paper that will go inside of the slits that we just made in the corn. And they should be about the same size. We're looking for about 1 centimeter wide. My scissors over here. And now we can start weaving our paper into the corn. I'll put my pile over here. I'll move this to the middle. So I'm going to take a piece off of the top. I'm going to pick up our corn and take a look at the cuts that we made in it before. So I'm going to take a strip of paper and push it underneath the first stripe and up over the next one, and keep doing that under and over all the way across. So now it's in between all of these strips of paper, and we'll push it to the very top. And this is where our glue stick comes in, because we're going to glue it in place. And I'm going to use the extra paper from cutting my corn out earlier as a way to protect my table. So I'll put it like that for doing my glue. So this kind of glue that I'm using, it starts off purple, but it dries clear. It dries very nice. You might have a different one, or you might have the same one. We're going to slide it all the way to the top and lift up one side, and we'll rub some glue right underneath where it goes. Put it back down, and we'll press it into place. Give it a good hard press with your thumb, and the same thing now on the other side. Lifting up. So glue, flip it back down, and give it a nice hard press. Now I'll make sure glue doesn't dry up. So there are two ways to do this next part. Next, we need to take off the extra here, because there's extra paper on the outside and we don't need that anymore. So the one way to do it is to do it after every strip. And you can cut it off right now, just to get nice and close to the edge of your corn, and snip. And there it is. Now we have a few pieces of corn on our cob already. And the other way is to do it all at once a little bit later. And I'll give you an idea of both of those things. I'll show you how to do both. So for the first few rows though, I'm going to cut them off right as soon as I put my stripe of paper in. So for our next one, since this one we started underneath the first row, this time we're going to start on top. So it looks a little different, and we're going to go underneath the second one and over in the middle, the opposite of the way that we did it before. So it makes a different kind of squares. We're now pushing that up to the top. We can already see very clear it's got this nice square in the middle. And again, we're going to put some glue down and trim off the sides. Now you can start seeing how our rows of corn are coming together, and how layering the paper differently is putting squares in different spots. I'm going to do a couple more rows like this, and then I'll start with showing how to cut them off if you'd like to leave them all on and snip them off at the end. And we're going back to going under the first one and over the second. So we're always switching back and forth every time which one is on top, or whether the first one is on the top or on the bottom. They're taking turns, so it creates a really cool pattern. So for the rest of them, I'm going to go a little bit faster, and we're going to cut the ends off when they're all in place. Okay, so this is my very last one. I'm going to glue this down. My final piece. There's a teeny weeny bit of room at the bottom of the slits, but that's okay. Fill it up nice and full all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to put the cap on my glue stick now because I'm all done with it. I don't want that to dry out, and I'm going to put it away. So we're going to pick up our scissors again now to finish off the corn. So there's all these extra little bits sticking out. And the first few we cut them out as we were going, but these ones I'm going to show you how it looks when you cut them out a little bit later. So we're going to go just nice and slow all across one side. There, all at once. And if we turn it over and do the other side, again, we're getting nice and close. And just going nice and slow, make sure we're not cutting too fast. There. And now we have our yummy harvest corn. Put away all the paper scraps and use these for another craft project on another day. But for now, we're going to just clean up and take back out our leaves, the corn leaves that we made earlier. And so now we have our corn, and it can slide right into its little home. Looks delicious. Thank you all for joining me for a wonderful corn craft today. I hope that you're able to enjoy some corn during the current harvest season. It's in season at the moment. Very delicious. Thank you for making a craft with me, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day.